Awesome.
I'll talk to you later about what you think.
Okay, guys, we are live.
Are we on live now?
Alive.
Okay, I'm back, guys.
Okay, we are live. We are live now.
Excellent.
Just waiting for my clock to strike 10.
My clock's about to strike 1.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah.
1 a.m. We still got boys in the gym.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't leave.
I only left for
Okay, guys,
this.
we are live.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
Where are you right now, Brad?
I'm at home now.
In the States?
No, I'm in Singapore.
Okay, guys, we're gonna start the show. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the comforts of my living room. Welcome to our first episode of Monday Night Mayhem, and I'm your host, Wadi, from the fight scene. Okay, let me get my stuff on first. Alright, I got Suman on. I got Brad on. Hold on. Okay. Let me settle the... Oops. Alright. Okay, we are on now. Okay, if you guys out there want to join in with the discussions, log on to Facebook, like our page at www.facebook.com/thefightscene.sg. Hop on to the Monday Night Mayhem post, type in your comments, and I'll add them to the show. So to kick off the show proper, I would like to introduce to you guys our panel of fighters, Brad Vanilla Gorilla Robinson and Suman Mokhtarian.
Hey, how are you?
Howdy, guys.
Alright, so Brad, you're a fighter with a 2-0 record, famously defeating ONE FC fighter and Malaysian media darling Nick Harris, and fighting out of Fight MMA. So tell us a little bit of yourself.
Famously defeating Nick Harris. I'll take it. I'll take it all. No, so I am too old to be doing this, but I have a real meathead problem. So I'm doing the fighting thing as long as I can. My real job is I run a gym called Ritual, and I manage the fight team at a Fight G, and an absolute MMA addict, which is I think why you called me on the show. So thanks for bringing me on.
No problem, man. How old are you again?
35 this year.
And you'll be fighting again?
Yeah, man.
Alright. So our next fighter coming all the way from Australia. He is famous for his 3-round war with our local boy Mubarak Adat at Rebel FC 1 and fighting out of Australian top teams. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, well, I actually own the Australian top team gym. I manage all the fighters out of this gym as well. Got a lot of good production fighters. I've been training for about a year and a half now. I'm 21 years old and just looking to take over. I'm looking to make the most of my opportunities that I've been given. And I'm looking to fight in Asia again, Singapore again, hopefully on Rebel FC in May. So
Awesome. That is awesome. Okay, let me get this thing up here. Alright. So let's get on with the rundown of the matches. UFC Fight Night 34. You guys watched it?
Yeah, I did.
Brad, you watched it at live or were you at home?
Sorry, say that again.
Did you watch the fight cards live or did
No, actually I didn't. I was out of town, so I couldn't make it.
So did you watch the fights at all?
I did, yeah, I did, and I had 10,000 text messages coming from my buddies who were there.
Okay, alright. Let's get down with the first fight. Russell Doan defeat Leandro Issa via technical submission to a triangle choke. So what
Sorry.
you guys? Yeah.
My mistake. I thought we were still talking about Rebel. I was there for the UFC fights. I was.
Okay. You were live there.
Yeah, I was there.
Alright, awesome. So the first fight, Russell Doan defeat Leandro Issa via technical submission to a triangle choke. Maybe Brett, you want to start off with the comments?
Yeah, it was a good fight, evenly matched. It's just Issa ate too many big right bombs. He was just kept eating straight rights down the middle, and takedown stuffed, and I think it just took it out of him, and he just couldn't maintain position when he got a good base, and good grappling. He's a black belt, but he got choked out, man. It was a really high level grappling there at the end of the fight.
Oh, I see. So how about you, Suman? Do you like the fight?
I loved it because I picked Isa as the winner, and I picked him by submission. So I think I got proven wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got proven wrong. But that's why you never count anyone out. It's MMA. It's not jiu-jitsu, you know. And I know that better than anyone. Like, uh, I pride myself on my jiu-jitsu, but I realize that high-level guys can come in. You know, you punch them once, they'll turn into a brown belt. Punch them again, they might turn into a purple belt. You know? I think it got taken out of him a bit, and Russell did an awesome job to wrap up that choke and choke him out. It was awesome. That's what I like to see.
All right, so
You know?
because I was quite surprised because Isa is a black belt jiu-jitsu and Doen actually reversed Isa twice from side mount. So like what you said, maybe a few punches can make a black belt go down to a blue belt.
Yeah, man. Like I've seen it happen a lot of times in the gym, but yeah, it was just it's great. Like you look at Benson Henderson, he walked out wearing his gi and he just got his black belt. He's so proud. Pretty sure Anthony Pettis is a purple belt now.
Yeah.
He topped a few kicks and just took everything out of him and he wrapped up a nice triangle, and that's why you never count anyone out in MMA.
Yeah, I really thought Issa was gonna just out grapple this guy, but man, he showed big heart nonetheless. He ate some big punches and kept coming forward, even though he had the stanky leg going on there for a while.
All right, so on to the next match. Dustin Kimura defeat John De Los Reyes via armbar submission in the first round. You guys saw that actually Kimura got rocked early, man. So Suman, you like to make your comments on the fight?
Man, you know what it reminded me of? A bit of Dennis Bermudez versus in the tough finale. Dennis Bermudez versus Diego Brandao. Brandao got dropped and then he quickly recovered to slap on that armbar. You know, it was the same thing really. You know, he got rocked early and I picked Kimura as the winner, but he wrapped up that armbar and just took it away. You know, that's why you just, again, like I said, you never count anyone out. MMA, you got to expect the unexpected.
Yeah, man. Brad, you saw Reyes got pretty good bombs down there, isn't it?
Yeah, he was laying some leather. My favorite part of the fight, the armbar, and he was throwing up some submissions. But my favorite part of the fight was in the interview at the end. He goes, "No, I wasn't really rocked. I just got punched really hard, and my legs went out from under me."
Yeah, but the thing is, what I've seen from fighters, a lot of pro fighters, that when they get an armbar, they try to slip out the hand. But wouldn't it be easier for them if they were to stack? Yeah.
I said the thing to myself, man. Like when again, like the Anthony Pettis and Benson Henderson thing, they're trying to pull up, holding their hand, but they're pulling away. Instead of when the first thing we learn with an armbar is to stack your weight down, triangle, you posture up, you put your hips in. But then when it comes to something else, you change it up. I don't know what's going on, but everyone seems to think because it's slippery a bit, they're going to slip their arm out. But it's usually in that first round of the fight they get caught with it.
Yeah, you have a split second to get that arm out of there. If that doesn't work, you gotta stack and put some pressure on. Otherwise, your bicep is not stronger than somebody's trunk. It's just
That's right.
not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because if you try to take it out, the armbar would be even tighter, isn't it?
Yeah, you're just straightening your own arm out.
All right.
Yeah, you're giving him the armbar.
Yeah. All right, so the next fight is Mirbek Taisumov defeat Tae Hyun Bang via a unanimous decision after 3 rounds. To tell the truth, I spoke with a lot of fighters. Everybody was telling me that Mirbek is the next big thing, the next phenomenon. Like Roger Huerta says that when Benson Henderson was champ, Mirbek could beat Benson Henderson for the lightweight title. But you guys think that it was just all hype? He didn't live up to expectation, Brad?
I listen. Everybody I know who's trained with that guy is terrified of training with him.
Yeah.
But listen, you're fighting in the UFC, man. And it's pretty scary when that happens, and that could have been part of it. But also, Bang was really unorthodox and all over the place with his footwork, and I did expect a bit more. I was telling people in the stands that I was hanging out with that expect a big show from this guy, but. You're fighting in the UFC, it's a big stage, and emotion and nerves do play a huge part of it. So who knows? I mean, he got the win, but we'll see how he comes back in his next fight.
Yeah, all right. Suman, you got any thoughts on the fight?
Well, I trained the Tiger Muay Thai at one stage earlier in my training, and I've spoken to Roger Huerta, and like you said, he can't stop talking about this guy and how good he is. I met him once before, and um, it's I don't think it's hype. The guy is really good. You know, I've seen him train. I've watched his fights. He is really good. I think the octagon jitters might have got him to him a bit, but he won. He still dominated. He got 30-27 by all the judges.
Yep.
So I think he's easing his way into it, and I think he's only just going to get better.
Yeah, that's what I thought because that is like his first decision win ever in his fight career. Yeah. So you guys think he can stand and bang with the best lightweights in the business, or should he cut down weight to featherweight?
I think he'll end up cutting down to featherweight. He's not a very big guy. He's not very tall, but I think he will end up going down to featherweight. But yeah, like I couldn't really pick too much out from his performance, like on a bad note.
Mm-hmm.
But he did what he had to do. He had to win, and he did there. Got his job, got his pay. You know, so I like I said, I think he's just gonna get better.
All right, that's great. Okay, before we go on to Royston Wee and Dave Galera, I'm gonna get them on to join us with the conversation. Hold on. And right, I'm calling them right now. Brett, you have any thoughts on Royston winning the fight?
Yeah, man, ecstatic for him for the first part. I mean, what an opportunity. And, then come out to find the poor guy's sick of the week leading up to the fight. I mean, that's nasty. But, he got a bit of flack from what I would say would be the, not the most educated in the fight game folks about his strategy. But, man, I love a grinder. And, grinding wins. And if you can't handle a guy getting on top of you and controlling you from the top, that's your own fault. So it's part of the game. It's part of fighting. And he chose to go out and grind the guy and take him down and beat him up from the guard. And if you can't get out of that, that's your fault, So just based on the reach and the striking of the other guy, it was the right strategy. I mean, it's not a favorable thing for him to do and stand with that guy. So smart strategy. Good fight both ways. I kept on waiting for him to get swept, and he had a good base, so I think he fought a really smart fight.
All right. How about Suman?
Yeah, man, I thought it was like a great. I picked Dave to win the fight, just based on Royston's. He's 2-0, so he hadn't had much experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't pick him to win the fight, but man, he proved me wrong. I was one of the not doubters, but I was someone as well who was saying, I think it's a bit soon for someone to jump in. But he did a great job. He did what he had to do to win, and he had a game plan and he stuck to it. And that's the best thing about seeing a martial artist. People that don't go away from a game plan, that shows the signs of someone who is probably experienced beyond his years. So that was a good thing to see him grinding it out. And just like Brad said, I like to see a grinder too. Sometimes to people that don't know it, they don't see what's going on and how hard it is. But if you've been grinded before, or if you're in that position and you're doing it yourself, you know how much it takes out on your opponent. So it's great. I love to see it. I like to see grappling matches as well. And he did what he had to do to win.
Oh,
He proved everyone wrong.
Yeah, for me it's very important because you see, we Singaporeans is still new here, so we need a hero. So Royston winning would really boost. He's on the papers, he's on CNA. He just came back from a studio interview in Super Sports. So, but I'm trying to get him on Skype and he's not on, and Dave is not on as well. So, yeah, I think that's the first blip for the show right now. Yeah, I'm trying to get his manager on as well. But, anyways, I think while we are waiting for them, I think we should go to the next fight. Katsunori Kikuno defeat Queen Mulan via unanimous decision after 3 rounds. Like, Kikuno got a static Machida S10s. Like, the crowd was laughing, man.
Yeah.
I was so shocked about that. And Queen actually retires after that loss. So, Brett, Suman, you want to have some comments about that?
Oh, again, I got another fight pick wrong. I picked Quinn. I thought he'd be able to out-grapple him. I thought Quinn was. I didn't think he was going to dominate, but I thought he was going to walk through it quite easily, and he proved me wrong. It's pretty sad to see Quinn retire after the fight. I've seen him fight a few times, and man, I'd love to see more from him. I don't know his reason for retiring, but I think he had a few more fights in him.
How about you, Brett?
Yeah, I saw in the underground this morning that he wrote this letter just saying he had a perfect camp, perfect weight cut, had all the focus in the world. He just feels he doesn't have the skills or the talent to pull it off at that level. You know, and if that's how he really feels, then good on him. You know, he's got his ego in check
All
and
right.
backed out at the right time. But I don't have much time for that hands down, chin up sort of stance. I think that's silly. You watch Lyoto Machida do it, but when you get in range of that guy, his hands go up and he's moving around and he's switching angles. So it's a little bit different than what we saw Saturday night.
All right. I actually got Dave on for a while, but yeah. But is it a bit surprising for you guys that Quinn retire, because he's like only 29 and he's 19-4, and he was
Man, that's a lot of fights, man. That's a lot of fights, and you know it's hard. I mean, it's hard doing camps 2-3 times a year, and you know if you just don't feel it that you've got that burning thing for it, then you got to get out. So I applaud the guy. You know, I think he, you know, I hate seeing a guy go out when he's a winner, and Mohan's definitely.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Hello, is Royston on? Hello? Royston, are you there? Hello, Royston? Alright, Royston is out. Okay, we're having some technical difficulties. Hello?
He's a winner. Mohan's definitely.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Brett, I'm sorry, you were on hold and I did cut you off because Royston actually called me on Skype.
No problem.
Yeah, he's calling me again. Okay, I have to put you on hold. Hold on. Okay, hello, Royston. Technical difficulties. Hello. Royston, I can't hear you, man.
Hello.
Okay, Royston, you're on. Okay, the thing is, I would like to add you to the conversation. So, can you like pick up my call? You were on hold and I did cut you off because Royston actually called me on Skype.
No problem.
Yeah, he's calling me again. Okay, I have to put you on hold. Hold on. Hello, Royston.
Hello.
Okay, Royston, you have to turn down the volume on your computer because
Hi.
yeah, what's happening right now is that we are on 30 seconds. Okay, he's out. Hold on. Okay, guys. Okay,
Hey,
okay, we are back. Okay, the thing is, Royston is not that familiar on Skype, so I'm trying to get him on.
yeah.
Hello. Hi.
Okay, Royston, you have
Hey,
to turn down the volume on your computer because hello, Royston. What's happening right now? Okay. Anyways, Brad, you were saying that Quinn, you applaud the guy for retiring at, enough is enough. Everything.
Yeah. If I was saying if he really feels that he doesn't have it anymore and he's just lost that drive or he just thinks he can't stack it, then you know, listen, it's hard for athletes to have their ego in check, and he obviously does. So fair play to the guy for backing out and making that choice. But also to do it after after a decision like that is easy to do. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him again.
It's the same for you, for Suman. You think it will be easy for you to quit like that?
I think it's pretty hard. Like I see a lot of fighters, like it takes too much out of me. I'm not earning enough money, or for some reason they quit. And but a year later, a year down the track, they find themselves back in the same situation. They want to fight. It's not about money or anything like that. It's just they want that adrenaline in him. And I think Quinn himself is going to see that he'll still want to fight. After having that many fights and having that many great fights against top level competition as well. I just don't see him like saying it's over for himself. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Awesome. Um. Okay. I'm trying. I'm trying to get Royston on. Royston can't get on. So what will happen is I'm going to call his manager right now, and have it on my microphone.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Okay, Quang, you are on.
Oh, hi.
You guys can hear him?
yeah.
Yeah, all good.
All right. Okay. Apparently, I think Royston's still having trouble with Skype, but never mind. Since you are on, tell me, how is it like being the manager of the first ever Singaporean UFC fighter?
Well, what can I say? Extremely proud, for one thing. I'm not just a manager because I train alongside them in the gym every day. And I go through for BJJ classes with Royston. So I've seen him basically develop over these years. And really just a dream come true. So, it's every, I think, MMA fighter's dream come true. And we're totally overwhelmed with joy, all of us.
All right, awesome. So basically, I understand that you just got back from the Super Sports Studio. So what's up with him for these few weeks? More interviews, more media.
Yeah, we got a lot of that lined up, and we're not looking for it, but just the public response to this has been surprising. We never thought there would be such a huge reception to this. I mean, we all know that MMA is still growing and fledgling sport in Singapore, and but we have people who are really not MMA fans, just general public who are calling in, asking for interviews, who are sending congratulations and all that. So it's been quite overwhelming.
Yes, it's really awesome to boost the MMA scene here in Singapore. So what's next for him? Are there any fights planned? Are there any fighters that you're planning to match him up with or something?
Well, it's all in the UFC's hands. There are some tentative discussions, but we can't disclose them right now. But yeah, definitely you'll be seeing Royston in the UFC again. So that's something we can look forward to.
All right, Quang, thank you so much. Thank you for the victory and thank you for everything. Singapore really likes Royston Wee. Singapore is really proud of Royston Wee, and it's really good for the sport, and there will be more and more talents coming up in the future.
That's great. Thanks for the interview.
All right, thank you. Bye. Okay, so Royston is out. Basically, I was thinking that if they were to match up an opponent with him, I was looking through the bantamweight division and it's pretty stacked, man. So the two fighters that come out to my mind is Russell Doan, who just defeated Issa, or Edwin Figueroa, who is like on a 3-fight losing streak. So I believe those two guys are like the closest, unless UFC sign another guy out there.
Yeah, I think that Figueroa would be a great fight for him. Just even though he's coming off 3 losses, like I said, Royston's pretty inexperienced, so it would be good if Figueroa loses, or I thought he was cut from the UFC, but if he loses, I guess it would be a leave town type of thing and like a last ditch effort for him. But there's a lot of guys. That bantamweight division is dangerous, I think that if I don't even know if he's still in the UFC, but if maybe Kid Yamamoto was still around,
wow, that would be a good fight.
Get a legend to fight him, I think this guy can do anything now. I'm on the hype train.
How about you, Brett?
Yeah, I mean, look, who knows? I mean, if we all knew what Joe Silva was thinking, or we would be a lot smarter than we are. So who knows? I mean, that is a nasty division in the UFC. So there's a lot of talent, but the UFC is very good about good matchups. So whatever they come up with won't be easy, but it'll be matched up as a good fight. You rarely see mismatches in the UFC these days. So we'll see.
I'd actually like to see him fight Vaughn Lee, maybe.
Oh, all right. That would be a good
I think
fight.
that'd be a great fight,
Actually, that'd be a cool fight.
Yeah, Vaughn Lee, I'm a big fan of him, man. When he subbed Yamamoto, I was straight away onto it. And he trained the Phuket top team as well.
Yep.
So I think, and he trained with my brother, and I think it would be great. You know, I think it would be a really good fight for Royston and Vaughn as well. I think Vaughn doesn't have the best record or even in the UFC, but he puts on exciting fights, and I think it would be great.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get on with the next fight. Max Holloway smashed Will Chope via TKO punches in the second round. A lot of fighters were telling me that Chope is seriously hard to train for. His reach for featherweight is so long, and his height and everything. But Max just kind of destroyed him, man. Like, Brad, what happened?
Max Holloway doesn't give a damn if you come to the fight with a knife. He is coming and he is throwing bombs. And as soon as he smells blood, that guy is fun to watch. As soon as he smells a bit of blood, he kicks the pace up by 40-50%, man. And look, Will is a great guy. He's awesome. I didn't know they made featherweights that tall till I met Will. So, you know, he's got a unique advantage. But, you know, Max Holloway is no joke. When I saw the change in matchup and he got put against Max, I was a little bit worried. But, you know, tough UFC debut for Will. But, yeah, I mean, Max comes to win.
Okay, Suman?
Yeah, well, man, Will's an awesome guy. I trained with Will over at Phuket Top Team as well. He's a really nice guy, and like you said, you didn't know they made featherweights that tall, but he can make bantamweight as well. He doesn't want to, but he can make bantamweight. That's the most amazing thing about it. He is a difficult guy to train for, and his style is a bit different to everyone else's. You know, he's not the most conventional striker. He's not the most conventional grappler, but he goes for it, man. And Max Holloway is a beast. He really took it to him, and the thing that I loved about it was he beat him with a few big shots, and Will didn't give up. I saw him still throwing big shots, but in that second round, when he landed a good combo on him in the middle, so close to him as well, he threw a spinning back kick and got him right in the gut.
Yeah, it was sick.
Not even from distance, just in the middle of his combination, and that was amazing to see. That's why I loved it. You know, it was a good performance from Max. He did what a good striker does, and he figured out the puzzle of Will Chope.
Yeah, and he was ripping the body very, very crafty. Like, yeah, he was ripping it really sneaky like, and I love a good body shot. So, you know, I hated to see Will lose. Like, it actually pained me to see him go down.
Yeah.
But you look, that guy's
a really nice guy.
Yeah, but he'll be back.
Yeah, he'll be back. He's like on a 14 fight win streak. I heard he fight like 11 fights in the year of 2012. 10 fights.
Yeah, man.
He doesn't. That's what he does. He doesn't give a damn.
He's crazy, man.
People don't realize, but Will's a fighter. No matter what, he goes there to fight. He doesn't care who it is. This guy's given up a lot in his life to be where he has. You know, he lives in Thailand. He trains his ass off. You know, he's hardworking. You know, and he'll reap the benefits from it. He's in the UFC now, and he'll get there. You know, he's still a young guy too.
A couple years ago, Will Chope was fighting middleweights and light heavyweights in Taiwan. He does not care. He's just in it to bang. He likes to fight. He doesn't care. He'll fight anybody. He won't turn down a fight.
Not only in MMA too. I know, like, people have offered him fights in Muay Thai. You know, like guys that have 200-300 fights and are still going up in their career, and he doesn't give a shit. He just wants to fight just to get paid. You know, he's fighting for his life. He's fighting to get paid, and that's what most high-level guys are doing. You know, he loves the sport, and he gives it everything he's got. He's training his ass off every day.
Yeah, man, he's only 23. He's still got a long way to go. But if you guys watch it on TV, I know Brett was live. I was live. I watched the replay, and I remember it was the first round. Max actually got Will rock at the end of the round on the first round.
He did.
Then what happened is that the corner straight away went to Will and said, "Will, don't worry, you won that. It's 10-9, easy for you." Is that a tactic to build confidence in the fighters?
Look, who knows? I mean, I've cornered way more fights than I've actually competed in, and you treat every fighter different. You know, you build a relationship with your fighter, and you know what they need. Some guys need a bit of hugging, some guys need to be yelled at. So who knows? The relationship between Leone and Will Chope, you know, probably a weird one, knowing those two. So, you know, I'm sure they knew what he was doing.
Suman, you agree with that as well?
Yeah, I agree with Brad 100%. Every fighter is different, and you have to treat every case differently as well. I believe that uh, Max rocking him at the end of the round won Max the round clearly for
Mm-hmm.
me. But then again, I'm not a judge. You know, some judges have weird looks on things. And Andrew Leone, who said that to him, you know, I think that he was just trying to help him out a bit, not take his confidence down, to let him know that even though he got rocked, he was doing well at the start of that fight.
Yeah, he was.
I think he just wanted to keep the confidence going. And Will knew himself he was in that fight as well. So he was trying to not disencourage him. And, you know, if he picked that out and knew Will, then Andrews did a good job for him, you know. But yeah, like Andrew and Will are good friends. And I think Andrew knows better than anyone what he needed in that corner.
All
He
right,
didn't
then.
get the win, but he tried to do his best.
All right. Before we go to the next fight, I would like to invite our special guest, Rebel FC commentator and 10 Planet Jiu Jitsu instructor, Mr. Frank Barca. Okay, before I get in, so the next fight is Kang Ho Kang defeated Shunichi Shimizu via arm triangle submission in the third round. You guys saw that fight. There was 2 points for an illegal elbow. Like, come on.
Yeah, I did not agree with that at all. Like when I was watching the fight, I was baffled that 2 point. I've never seen that before.
Hmm?
You know, of one thing, 2 points getting taken off. Steve Percival, the referee for that fight, he's actually a local referee down in Australia, and not gonna really lie, but he's been known for making some pretty crazy calls in the past, and not too many fighters are happy with him in Australia and Singapore. But I think that was a terrible call. Um, I don't think that his opponent was too hurt by everything, and I think 1 point was necessary. I think 2 points is just ridiculous.
All right. So, Brett, you on?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I completely agree. That 2 point thing was bananas. Give me a break, man. I mean, you know, totally uncalled for.
Yeah.
All right. But Brian Stan actually said on the commentary that he said that Kang lost 2 points in the first round, so he needs to finish it in the third, and he did finish. And when you saw it, the head arm choke wasn't deep, and Shimizu actually tapped straight away. It was a quick tap. I was quite surprised. You think he tapped out due to pain? Because I don't think that the choke was that deep.
Brad?
Brad?
Yeah, I didn't actually see the detail of choke that much, but man, if a guy's got a solid squeeze and knows what he's doing, it does not take long for that choke to get ugly. And you know, who knows? Who knows? I didn't see it that closely.
You could see the size difference
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
in the fighters. You know, like Quang was like massive. They look 2 weight classes apart, and I think that's all it really took, a bigger guy to tighten that squeeze.
Yeah.
You know?
And sometimes, look, sometimes you got a guy with a good squeeze, and you just know. You get in there, and you just know I'm not getting out of this.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Okay, Frank's telling me that he's gonna call me, so we'll see what happens now.
Would Frank be able to hear us?
I don't think so because I have to get
Yeah.
get you guys on hold because I can't add in to the convo.
Yeah. Tell Frank I miss him.
Okay, sure.
Tell him Suman misses him. Tell him he's still got to come to my gym in Sydney too.
Can get him on. Done. Frank, call me, man. All right. Hey, Frank.
Hey man, how's it going?
All right, guys. This is Frank Baka, Rebel FC commentator and instructor from 10 Planet Jiu Jitsu Melbourne. Suman tell me he misses you and he wants you to come to his gym. You got that, bro? Hello, Frank.
Mohammed, you there?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I've got you loud and clear. Sorry about the connection, man. I'm holidaying with my family. I'm on the coast. Internet connection is very dodgy down here.
All right. Anyways, Suman Mokhtarian is a panel of fighters on the show, so he was telling me that he misses you and he wants you to come to his gym.
Oh, for sure. Listen, man, anytime I'm in Singapore, get me up a few days earlier and I'll come down there. I'd love to share some information about 10 Planet Jiu-Jitsu and what I've learned over my travels over the last 3 decades in martial arts. Absolutely. It would be an absolute pleasure.
All right, that would be awesome. So you saw the Kang Hang defeat Shunichi Shimizu and the 2 points for the illegal elbow?
Absolutely. Can I get into that fight or do you want to go straight to the elbow situation?
Yeah, I want your comments on the elbow situation. 2 points for an illegal elbow? Like, come on.
Okay, well, first of all, he landed 3 definite and maybe 4 illegal elbows.
Uh-huh.
Now, this is just my opinion, of course. You're asking what I think, and I'm just going to be objective as possible, okay? So if I was commentating that fight, I would definitely have been concerned. Now, I've just got to say that Mr. Perfect, he looked fantastic. How sensational did he look in this fight? Just before we get into those elbows, how great did he look in this
Yeah,
fight?
he was great, man. It was awesome.
You know, his ability to he landed some quick shots. He shot in and got the takedown on Shimizu. Looked very impressive, and then he went into his trademark submission game. That was just perfect. I mean, literally, you know, he was putting arm bars and triangles on him, and that's what led to the illegal elbows. Now, I just want to say really quickly, when the most impressive thing was when he was punching him in the face, he cleared his left shoulder with his right leg. He cinched up a beautiful triangle, and then he rolled to his back. Now, when he rolled to his back, he started dropping those elbows, and that's perfectly legal.
Okay.
When you drop those elbows from 12 to 6 off your back, it's legal. You're allowed to do it. The problem started is that he transitioned. He rolled and swept over into the mount, and he continued to land those elbows from the top mounted position, which is not only illegal, it's super, super dangerous. And I got to say, I was actually surprised that the fight wasn't stopped. That's my opinion. Now, that's what I thought. But those elbows were definitely illegal. But man, were they awesome. I mean, how dangerous did he look when he had that triangle cinched in? And not only that, how tough was Shimizu? I mean, he resisted how many submission attempts? And then to think that he lasted all the way to the 3rd round and got caught in that arm triangle, I mean, wasn't that just classic Kang? I mean, that Mr. Perfect was just on fire in that fight. But that's my opinion on those elbows, Mohammed.
All right. Thank you, Frank. You are awesome. I would like to have you on the show the next time, man.
Oh, hey, listen, mate, I just want to say real quick for all the people out in Singapore or around who were at the Rebel FC fight and who support MMA over there in Singapore. I loved introducing you guys. You guys are beautiful people. I love the Singapore culture. I love how enthusiastic and passionate about MMA you guys are. It was just awesome. And I just can't wait to get out to Singapore again. And man, I got to tell you, anyone wants me over there for a couple of days to share some of this 10th planet knowledge from my master, Professor Eddie Bravo, would be absolute pleasure. And anytime you guys are in Melbourne, Australia, please hit me up. 10thplanetjjmelbourne.com. Come down and train with us down there. I've got a great academy, some great people, and it'd be awesome to have you there with me.
All right, we'd love to see you again here, man, in Singapore.
Thanks, Mohammed. Take care. Enjoy.
All right, bye. Okay, guys, we're back. Hello, did I take too long? Okay, anyways, Frank says that he would love to come to your...
Awesome.
Hey, Brad, you still there?
Yeah, still here, mate.
Okay, so we go on to the next fight. Kiichi Kunimoto defeat Luis Dutra via disqualification, elbows to the back of the head in the first round. You guys got any opinions on 12 to 6 elbows? Are they really that dangerous? Is it supposed to be illegal?
I'll jump in. 12 to 6 elbows, if you're on top of a guy, are no more dangerous than a good head kick when you get your shin wrapped around your head. But 12 to 6 elbows to your spine, to the back of your neck is a whole different story. 12 to 6 elbows, I think it's a silly rule. But 12 to 6 to the back of the head, any strike to the back of the head really is damaging. It's there for a reason. It's high risk. So, you know, that was gross. The guy knew what he was doing too. Those were straight down the pipe.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, Suman?
Yeah, I have to agree with Brad 100%. 12 to 6 elbows, I think it's a silly rule too. Like when John Jones has got on top of Matt Hamill and started dropping those elbows.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was fine, but like Brad said, if it goes to the back of the head, then it's dangerous. You know, you got that sweet spot at the back of your head that leads to all your nerves in your neck and your spine, and you damage that, and you could end a fighter's career. You know.
Yeah, there's being tough, but there's also, you know, I'm a big fan of walking, so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, I know I read some reports. They say that if you hit that spot, actually the guy could be dead. Like one shot is enough to kill the guy. So back of the head is a no. But 12 to 6 elbows, I think they gotta change that.
Yeah, I agree with you, 100%.
All right, so we'll go on to the next one. Tatsuya Kawajiri defeats Sean Soriano via rear naked choke in the second round. Suman, you saw, was it a late stoppage? Do you think it was a late?
I was actually having this argument with my brother, and I spoke to my jiu-jitsu coach about it today as well. When I first saw it, when I saw it live, I said to myself, "Oh, there's the tap." And when I was watching it with my friend James, I said, "There's the tap," and I thought the referee should have stepped in. But then when I watched it again, I realized that one tap isn't a tap. You know, if you do a jiu-jitsu referee's course or even an MMA's referee course, they'll tell you that they need to see more than one tap. You know, and I think Sean went to tap and he thought about it again, so he tried to hold back and he got put to sleep. So it could go either way. If I was the referee, like the way I saw it live, I would have stepped in, and then some people would have said, "Nah, he didn't tap. He only hit the hand once." But I don't know. It's a fine line, and I think it could have gone either way.
Yeah,
the way I saw it at the start, I thought it was a tap.
So I thought exactly the same. When I saw it live, I thought it was a miss. I thought the ref dropped the ball. I thought he tapped. I haven't seen the replay, but you know, I thought he tapped. So. But you know, that's why being a referee sucks, man.
All right. So you guys saw Kawajiri finally in the UFC, and actually I was at the post-fight conference because at the in the post-fight interview he says that he wants stronger people. So I asked him who he has particularly in mind, and the first person he came up was he wants to fight Jose Aldo, but he knows that there's an order for him to go through. So who do you guys think would match up with him best, Brett?
Man, that's another division. Who knows? You know, like he poses an interesting challenge for a lot of people. You know, like he's a really interesting matchup with this. First of all, timeout. I'd like to put out to the universe that I apologize for picking against Kawajiri. What I was thinking. You know, pride never die and all. I definitely screwed that one up, but I really thought Seriana was going to bring it to him. I just thought that it was going to be. You see a lot of guys step into the UFC, and even though they're legends, they've done all these amazing things, they just can't hack it. But I thought that was going to be the case, but obviously I was wrong. As far as what's next for him, I think he's nuts calling out Jose Aldo. Because, you know, I wouldn't ever want to fight that guy. But yeah, I don't know, man. He's an interesting guy. He's got an interesting style and brings a lot to the table. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's next for that guy.
Okay, how about you, Suman?
I thought it was pretty ridiculous calling out fighting the UFC. To be honest, you know, I don't know, but like I think it was a bit of a strange post-fight interview. I didn't understand a word of what he said except for Jose Aldo. That was the only thing I understood. But he got his point across, I guess. And but I think that it's quite ridiculous for him to call out Jose Aldo. There's so many other guys waiting in line. You know, it was impressive. He beat an undefeated fighter, but I don't think he's in any stage or anywhere near getting a title shot. I think he needs to win a good 4 fights at least to get anywhere near that division. You know, that division's stacked as well. You know?
Yeah, it's stacked shit, man.
You know, you never know. You might. That division actually is so full that they're trying to make more room in the division. You know, that they want to make more room because there's so many good guys and like everyone's competing against each other. And I thought it was silly. You know, I think I'd like to see him against some good guys, and we'll see how he goes. You know, he went against a young guy. He had an impressive performance. You know, but I would really like to see him fight someone like maybe a Charles Oliveira or someone, another good grappler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See how
I don't know. I feel he could step up against Diego Brandao, because Brandao just got overweight in his last fight, got destroyed by Poirier. He's still considered one of the top 20 fighters in the featherweight division, so a fight with Kawajiri I think would be awesome.
Yeah, for a round, one round.
One round?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I'd like to see that fight for one round, and if it goes past the round, I like Diego Brandao. I love watching him fight, but I'd like to watch him fight in shape. You know, if he was in shape, I think that guy is a monster.
Yeah, that guy is a monster.
Yeah, he's coming off a loss, so I don't know if they'll match him up, but yeah, I'd like to see that fight too. I think it would be an explosive first round.
Okay, so we go to the main event, the fight of the night. Tarek Safedin defeats Hyun Gyu Lim via unanimous decision after 5 rounds. Oh my god, Tarek's leg kicks were pretty awesome, man. Brad, your thoughts on the fight?
He's a scary human being. He's scary not only because of his skill set, but that's one cerebral dude, man. He fights smart, doesn't rush things. Like he is a complete fighter, and you know, I think he's somebody to be reckoned with in that division. I mean, he's phenomenal.
Suman?
Yeah, I gotta agree with Brad. I picked Lim as the winner. You know, being a Korean top team guy, you know, I knew he was gonna bring the fight to him, and I didn't realize until they both got into the octagon how big the size difference was in these two guys. You know, and I thought that he was gonna overwhelm him in the earlier rounds, but Tarek just with those leg kicks just overwhelmed him and kept going. But you know, there was a few times that I'd like to see a few more, but it was good. You know, he was smart. He didn't get over predictable in his striking and just keep going for it and didn't get hit. I thought in the first 4 rounds that I'd see Lim come back and throw some big bombs, and you know, Tarek was smart. He kept his hands up, and every time he got out of an exchange, never looked like he got rocked until that last round.
Yep. But does that you know, there are a lot of heat on the MMA internet community saying that, you know, Tarek couldn't finish a guy with only one good leg. I feel Lim showed a lot of heart. He really gave it to the crowd. He really gave it to the fans. He even came back for the post-fight interview. I mean, the post-fight press con, limping with an ice pack on his face. So, but does that make Tarek Safedin look weak that he can't finish a fighter with one good leg?
No, it doesn't. I mean, he's fighting in UFC. Come on, man. That guy came to win. That guy, you know, I got no time for that stuff. It's hard to finish anybody one leg or not. And one leg, look what he did in the final frame of that fight. He came back and tried to finish Tarek. So, internet haters don't even deserve to be mentioned. Like I got no time for that.
How about you, Suman?
I'd like to see anyone else try and finish him, or even laser damage that Tarek did to him. You know, like Tarek did. Again, like I've said it like 3 times. I'm getting repetitive, but he did what he had to do. He fought a smart fight, and he went over 5 rounds. You know, he showed that he's got championship rounds in him.
Yeah,
and
man.
championship quality. You know, and being smart, and again, not going away from the game plan. That's what gets you the win, and he did that.
All right. So what do you think is next for Tarek? The proper match with Jake Ellenberger? No.
It could be. I wouldn't like to see that fight just yet. I'd actually, you know what? I'd really, really like to see another explosive striker go with Tarek.
Carlos Condit.
Maybe.
You were saying who?
Hector Lombard.
Hector Lombard, Brad.
Oh, good God, that fight could be insane.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think that's an even better fight. Hector Lombard just dropped down to the welterweight division, and in the welterweight division, he's 1-0. So I think it would be great. You know, I think Tarek would be up for the fight as well. I think it would be a great fight.
How about you, Brett?
Yeah, I like that match as well. I like Carlos Condit as well.
Yep.
I like that fight as well. I think those both very intelligent fighters, so it could be a bit of a snore fest for those who aren't into really technical striking. But man, that Lombard fight could be bananas. That's a good call.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, man. Lombard is crazy. Tarek
Yeah.
have crazy skills, so it's gonna be an explosive fight. So, guys, overall thoughts of the first ever UFC in Singapore. Suman, I know that in Australia you had plenty of UFC experience. I believe you should have been there due to the live shows. Also, compared there to Australia, Singapore and Australia, how do you think that the event go overall?
I thought the event went well. There was a few times, I don't know if everyone else got the same thing, but when I was watching the fights live, um, the commentary and things like that were getting cut off, and I'd like to see Bruce Buffer. So, I'm a big Bruce Buffer fan, so I was pretty disappointed not to see him. And like, but all in all, it was a good show. It's a work in progress for for Singapore. It was a good first showing. If you looked at Australia's first show that they had in Sydney, it might not have been the best, but like I said, it's only going to get better. The UFC have good guys in charge of what they're doing, and they're going to make the most of it. They're going to get better.
All right,
And I can't wait for the next show.
wow. All right, Brett, how about you?
Yeah, look, it's a good show, man. UFC, they don't do much that goes wrong, and if they do, they don't do it wrong twice. But yeah, I'm with you. I wanted Joe Rogan, Bruce Buffer, the whole experience. Brian Stan was great and all, but no disrespecting those guys. But yeah, first show not bad. Got some local talent on there. Put on some crazy good fights, and anytime there's a fight that gets dominated by low kicks, I am in. So that did it for me.
Yeah, in a way, I feel that Tarek actually kind of lift the phobia of the fans of leg kicks right after UFC 168. Yeah, because he was like hitting leg kicks, and nobody actually had the feeling that one leg is gonna break, just like what happened in 168.
That's exactly what I thought. I thought, man, he's throwing a lot of leg kicks after that Anderson Silva incident. But I think he gave me confidence to start throwing leg kicks again because I started throwing really soft and training.
I did exactly the same thing. I got to training. I was like, let me just, I'm going to work on setting these up a little more.
Yeah.
Have the guy going backwards before I send a leg kick or a low kick flying around.
I was training with Rob the other day on Saturday, and when I was training with him, like usually everyone knows Rob, he stands there and he bangs, but for some reason, like he threw a leg kick at me, and I was just like, okay. So I started tapping them back, and I go, I hope they don't get any harder, because even with shin pads on, Rob's a beast. He might turn into something, and I might break my leg. It was good, but the pace was good.
All right, then we are going to move to our next part of the program. Is the rumors.
Awesome.
Okay, guys, whatever that is being discussed in the next few minutes are unverified accounts or explanation of events circulating in the MMA world. So basically, there's only maybe 0% truth or 50% truth. Yeah, but it's not 100% truth. So the first rumor is that Brock Lesnar coming back. I don't know whether you guys heard it. Brad, you want to start it off?
Yeah, I mean, who knows, man? A guy could come back and do quite well. He could come back and flop, or he could stay at home and lie on his giant bed of cash that he has. I don't know. I mean, he sells tickets, and the whole wrestling thing, people discredit it all, but that guy is a serious high-level athlete and moves like a welterweight. So if he decides to come back, and who knows, maybe he's been working on his striking and working on not getting scared of being punched in the face this whole time. I don't know, but I kind of doubt it. I kind of don't see it happening. He's a very wealthy man, so who knows though.
All right, how about you, Suman?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm a big WWE fan. I knew Brock Lesnar from watching him in wrestling, and I think I'd rather see him in the WWE than the UFC. I think the guy can do anything, Like Brad said, he moves around like a welterweight. But I think he proved what he needed to, and he was good for the UFC at the time that he was there. But I think now in the division, he's going to go back into that division, and I think he's going to see some new faces that are going to be able to give it to him. And I think he'd made a smart choice for stepping away after the Alistair Overeem fight, and I'd like to be entertained in the WWE by him. I don't think it'd be a smart career choice to come back to the UFC right now. I don't think he needs the money either, like Brad said. So, but you know, if he came back, I'm sure he'd put on a show, and I'm sure he'd sell tickets. No, I'd watch it just to see what
I'd buy that. I'd buy that show.
I'll buy that show too.
I'll tell you what they're talking about though
Uh-huh.
is, and Shane Carwin jumped on this on Twitter as
Yep.
well. If that fight happens again, I would fly anywhere in the world to watch that fight. That was the craziest fight I've ever watched in my entire life. I watched that fight in Boracay in the Philippines at Ole Larson's gym
Uh-huh.
with my jaw open and my heart rate is about 200 beats a minute. Could not believe I was watching these two gorillas fight each other in a cage. So if that fight happens again, I'm buying it. I'm going to fly to it.
All right.
I might not get it illegally over the net and actually just pay for it.
All right.
That would be some fight.
Okay, all right. The next rumor is Anderson Silva wants to come back. And so basically what happens on the internet is that Prado Hizo was talking to him when he was on his hospital bed, and he says he wants to come back. Silva's manager says that he's already moving his toes and he will be back. What do you guys think? You think he will come back? Suman?
Yeah, I think he can make a comeback. You know, I was having a discussion with my friends about this, and it's a hard injury, but we've seen like Corey Hill when he broke his leg, he came back and he's been fighting. But I think after something like that, you're never going to be mentally the same again. You know, but then again, you can't count Anderson Silva out. You know, he's the Spider and he's a legend, and I think he's one of the greatest fighters of all time. And I think if anyone could come back, it is Anderson Silva. I just think that Chris Weidman is Anderson Silva's kryptonite. You know, I just think he's that person. You know, to Superman. You know, I look up to Anderson Silva, and I think Weidman is that guy. I think Vitor fights Weidman, he would beat him, but I think he's got his number. I think that Weidman always beats Anderson.
All right, how about you, Brett? Silva coming back.
Listen, I love a good hero story, and Anderson Silva is the greatest martial artist to ever breathe air. And I there's a part of me who hopes he doesn't come back. I kind of would rather sit around when I'm an old guy in a rocking chair telling stories about if he'd have come back and if that leg wouldn't have broken, he'd have gone on to win 27,000 more fights.
Wow.
You know, like I just, you know, it pained me not only because it was a gruesome injury, but to see him go out like that. He gets caught, he clowns around, he gets knocked out and clipped. He's going to come back, he's going to do well, he's going to come back, and he breaks his damn leg. It hurt me to see a legend go out like that. So, you know, another case, money's not the issue. He doesn't need it. Go out on top, man. You know, like, everyone loves you. You're super respected. You know, I'd like to see him walk away from it. That's a gross injury.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll go on to the next one. The hottest free agent on the market, Ruthless Rob Lisita. I know, Suman, you have a lot of info on this. I heard he was offered contracts with the UFC, 1FC, Rebel, Bellator, almost every freaking promotion in the planet. So, Suman, tell me about this, man.
And like, I love Rob. Rob's a cool guy, man. I trained with Rob for a while at Cricket Top Team. I trained with him just on the weekend. You know, we're back in Sydney together. I honestly believe that Rob Lisita, like, no matter what promotion he's with, just as a fan, not just as his friend or anything, you know, as a fan, I'd love to see him fight on any promotion. You know, if I see him fighting on Bellator, I'm going to somehow get a live stream onto it. If I see him fighting in the UFC, I'm going to pay for his pay-per-view. I'm going to see it on Facebook, whatever it is, you know. I think he's worth his money that he's asking for, and I think any promotion would be lucky to have him. If 1FC had him, I want to see a live stream, or whoever it is. You have to pay the money to see the good fighters, and I honestly believe that he's one of the best featherweights in the world. And if you don't believe it, you know, you watch his fighting style or something, you're like, oh, why doesn't someone just sit on the outside and jab him away or something? You cannot do it. You know, I've trained with the guy and I've seen it myself. He drags you into a brawl and you cannot stop it. He has this way of drawing you into the fight that you don't want to be in. And when he hits you, even in sparring, when he's light, he has power in his hands. Like, I spar with some big guys and I can just feel the power at the end of his punches. no disrespect to someone like Will Chope, but I think if he fought Max Holloway, he would have knocked Max Holloway out.
Wow. Okay, Brett, you have any thoughts on Lisita?
Look, he's in a pretty good position, you know. Like he's got a lot of people talking about him, and a bit of a free agent, so it's not a bad place to be in. I think wherever he's going to land in a good spot. All I do know is, ever since that damn fight, you know how many times I've had to defend a bulldog choke from some young meathead in the gym? Just every single body. Nobody's putting hooks in anymore. Everyone's jumping on a bulldog choke. So.
I was cage side for that, you know. I was in his corner and I was the only one screaming, "Bulldog choke, go for it!" But it was funny. Me and Rob were speaking about that choke a few days before it happened, and we were just talking about, like I said, Rob draws you into a fight that you don't want to be in, and he mentioned that he gets guys with unconventional things because of his power, you know. And as soon as he sank it in, I looked at his face and he knew he had it in. He didn't have to be the most technical, but it looked beautiful. It looked like he was meant to do it. And you know what? He knew what he was doing. You know, he's a smart guy. He's smarter than a lot of people think. He goes over his game plans. He studies his opponents. You know, he might not fight like he studies them, but he really does study his opponents.
Yeah. I love seeing kind of unorthodox guys using kind of unorthodox stuff like that. When I saw the highlight of that bulldog choke, I literally jumped out of my seat. That's such a fun choke. It's such a pain in the ass to deal with as well. So it's nice to see it. Nice to see it on a big stage.
All right, so I'm okay. I have been guessing. I've talked to Rob Lisita because basically what happened was he was kind of pissed off that I didn't give him the most awesome fighter award. So we chat a couple of times, and I guess, and this is a wild guess, that Rob Lisita will sign with ONE FC and fight this March in KL. Suman, you wanna go in on that?
You know what? Me and Rob have a great relationship, and like we're good friends. I don't want to ruin what we got by leaking something, but no matter what, I know what Rob's doing, and Rob knows what he's doing better than anyone. You know, he's taking care of himself, he's taking care of his family, and he's making the right choice. You'll see Rob fighting soon. It's gonna be announced any day now. Rob wants to announce it to the world. He's just waiting for confirmation to be allowed to. But everyone will find out where he's fighting and who the opponent is. What I can tell you is Rob is already straight back into training, and he's taking it as serious as ever because he feels like he's been given an opportunity to prove that he's the best in the world, and I think he's going to turn a lot of heads.
Brad, you have any thoughts on that?
No, man. No. I've heard some grumblings as well, but you know, I respect the game. So
all right.
You know, you gotta let people have their piece and not shit on. You gotta let people announce things on their own terms.
I understand. So
I don't
if
want
you
to get fight either.
no,
So-
it's okay if you it's okay if you already have the 100% fact and you don't want to say it, but it would be better if you do not have the facts and you guessed it, so it would make it a bit more exciting, you see.
I know the facts, and but
All right.
you're gonna have to from Rob.
All right. Then we'll cut it off. So the next one, okay, ONE FC. This is a rumor as well. It says that ONE FC will be back in March in KL, and the date is 14 March. And I heard around, people are actually circulating around, is that Ben Askren versus Qayyum for the main event. Ben Askren versus Adam Qayyum for the title. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I think it's listen, Ben Askren is one of the absolute best grapplers on planet Earth, and Adam Qayyum is a very, very slick black belt, and a dope guy, man. Such a cool dude. I personally don't want to see that fight. I mean, absolutely no disrespect to Adam Qayyum, but Ben Askren is some next level shit.
Right, Suman, what about you?
Personally, I've heard a few rumors about the money that Askren is on with ONE FC, and I wouldn't really. He's not my favorite fighter. I wouldn't really want to tune into to see him fight. It's not really a fight that I'd want to see because I'd rather spend my money watching exciting guys fight. He is a grinder and he has some mad skill, especially with his wrestling. You can't go past that. But I think that it's just gotten a bit repetitive for me. I got sick of watching him in Bellator, and I'm actually happy that I'm not seeing him fight in the UFC too. You know, to be honest, because I don't want him getting in the way of me watching another fight. That's just my opinion. You know, some people might hound me for it. Some people would agree with me for it. But that money that he's on, I'd rather see it go to a more exciting fighter, not just based on his record. You know, when we tune in, we have specific people that we want to watch as fighters, and I don't think people are knocking down the door and running to their houses or getting on their laptop to watch Ben Askren fight.
All right. Okay, another rumor that has been circulating around for the card in KL is that we will have Arnon Lepon versus Ariel Sexton. If you guys haven't seen Ariel Sexton, he actually smashed Peter Davis in Mima. And Lepon just lost to Eddie Ng in 1FC. What do you guys think about the fight, Brett?
I watched Sexton fight. I watched him fight Peter Davis and rain some serious elbows down. And you know, he's if I'm not mistaken, he's got a serious record. He's like 8-1 or 10-1 or something like that.
Yep.
So yeah, man, could be a tough fight, you know, but man, Lepon, you take all the hype and all the showmanship and all that away. That guy is hard to finish and finds a way to win a lot of the times, man. That fight he had with Brian Choi and some of his dare fight.
Yep.
You know, he just guts it out and finds a way, finds an opening. So you never know. Could be a crazy fight to watch.
How about you, Suman?
I'm gonna base it on one thing and one thing only. We had fight picks, and I think in the UFC I went like 4 out of 10 or something. Terrible in the fight picks. But Lepon, I think, got like 8 or 9 or something, you know?
Yep.
So I think it just shows that he's a really smart guy, and he knows MMA. You know, he had the fight pick. I don't think it was luck, really, you know? I think he picked the right fights, and it just shows to me he's a smart guy, and I think no matter who he fights, if it's true or not, I think he'll come back bigger and better after that Eddie fight. It's smarter.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So the next rumor is Rebel FC2 will be back in Singapore in this month of May, and I heard that they already signed a few amateurs to fight on the event as well. Suman, you wanna let me in on it?
They have. I don't know if they've signed any amateurs, but after my fight, I spoke to Chad. I'll let you guys in on that. It's nothing really too big. Chad Sanderson came up to me and he said to me that he wants to sign a few amateurs and semi-pro fighters just to keep young talent around. Doesn't want to pressure them to go professional. He wants them to fight on the show and make a name for themselves before they turn professional. And I think it's a good opportunity, you know, for us young guys, you know, that are just coming up to fight on a world stage. And he said something about a 2-fight contract, and I was like, yeah, man, that sounds awesome. But we haven't gone into detail over anything. But yeah, he's looking to sign up a few amateurs and get us onto the next show. I spoke to him already. I actually spoke to him about a week ago. I can't remember if it was before or after New Year's, but I spoke to him and he said to me that definitely he's getting a fight for me on the next Rebel, which I was extremely proud of. So I'll be going back to Phuket Top Team in April, and he'll be flying me out from Thailand to go straight to Singapore and fight. And we're going to have a few more Australians on that card as well, hopefully, by the sounds of things. The matchmaker, Chad, you know, he did a great job. He put some awesome fights on together, and hopefully I get my opportunity to show what I can do.
All right. How about you, Brett? Has Rebel approached you at any point of time?
No, that whole relationship between Rebel and 1FC keeps me pretty much off limits, I think. But look, if you talk to anybody, my gym, my boys, we stay out of that whole mess. The politics in that Asian MMA scene make me kind of sick. So I try to stay out of it. But what I say is, more fights the better, man. Better for the fans, and I like the amateur scenes. I like the fact Rebel's doing amateur shows, because one issue I've got a lot of really young, talented guys, but I don't want to put them onto a huge stage and they go from some amateur Muay Thai fights and jump into pro MMA. So I think it's a great thing that there's more venues, more cards, more amateur shows they can do. They can get in there and, get their ears pinned back a little bit a few times before they step on and start fighting pro. So I think it's a good, more MMA for everybody. Who the hell can complain about that?
All right. So the big news for Rebel FC2 is that do you know actually Mei Wei, the girl who defeated Amy on Rebel FC1, she's like on the papers everywhere on Sunday, man. She's on Straits Times, she's on TNP, she's going to do another Straits Times interview. And you guys have been like on social media so actively trying to hype up the rematch. So, Suman, any news about it?
Alright, well, everyone knows. If you're watching the fight, you know Amy was winning the fight clearly. She actually dropped her in the second round, and Amy's a good fighter. She took it to her. She dropped her in the second round, and then third round came, and I think she got a bit over enthusiastic on the fight, and she literally slipped. Because what happened was the surface of the fight, you ask me, you ask Rob Lisita, you ask any of the other fighters, the surface of the canvas was pretty slippery, and they had people coming in and wiping it in between the rounds. Now, her corner didn't get wiped, and Amy had gone to her corner and she was hitting her through a combo and slipped, but that's the game that we're in. She slipped, and May was really quick to jump on the choke. We're looking for the rematch. I believe that if it wasn't for that slip, May wouldn't have won. I don't like to make excuses, especially for my fighters. Amy doesn't like to make excuses, but it's a rematch that we want, and they wanted the rematch as well. They were all for it, but then they started asking for ridiculous prices for May, and she's a big person in Singapore, and I know that she's big on social media, and people are looking at her and things like that. She's in outstanding shape, but I think that if they fought again, Amy will knock her out. I think Amy, as a girl, will knock her out in the first round, and I think her coaches know that too. That's why they ask for ridiculous prices. They don't want that fight. We want that fight on any show. We want that fight, and Amy has gone as far as to say she'll fight as a professional for free to get that rematch.
Wow, is Amy with you right now?
No, she's not with me right now. She was with me a few hours ago. She was training today, and Amy will fight. Amy's a fighter at the end of the day. Money, she doesn't fight for money or anything like that. She fights for her pride, her honor, and this is her dream. And I think that May as well knows it herself. If they fought again, she's going to sleep and she's going to get knocked out.
Right, Brad, did you watch the fight?
I did, yeah, I did. I caught the video of it, yeah. I thought it was going her way. I think that slip was unfortunate, man. I mean, anybody who's fought on a lower level show has fought on canvas like that, and it can be damn tricky, man. So, just quick, what weight was that fight booked at?
That fight was at 58, and Amy is a 52-kilo fighter.
Yeah, I thought she was I thought she was a bit small. That was my next point. She definitely did May cut weight for that?
Yeah, May did cut weight for that, but they're saying May can get down to 52. We actually agreed on a few things, and I even spoke to her coach, and it seemed like they were going for it, but then they started arguing between, oh, we're going to get it on Rebel, or oh, we're going to get it on 1FC, let's get more money or something. And I said, let's stay loyal to the show. Let's get the fight again where it was in the first place, and let's get it back on the Rebel stage. I'm sure Singapore will want to see that fight again. They want to see their golden girl win, and I'm sure a lot of people in Singapore are backing her as well. But I don't think that her skill set is up to Amy's. I think if it goes to the floor, Amy will beat her face in. I think if it's standing, Amy will beat her face in. May's an outstanding athlete, but I think that Amy's got a number.
All right, Brett, what do you think about that?
Man, listen, the WMMA scene in Singapore, who would have thought it'd be this cool when it first started off? But we've had some pretty cool fights since in the very few fights that we've had in the female scene. So
Yeah, you had Sherilyn from your
yeah,
gym.
yeah. I mean, Sherilyn, that Ann Osman fight was insane.
Mm-hmm.
And if these two can rematch, man, bring it on. Again, same as my earlier comments. The more MMA, the better, and especially if there's a grudge involved, let's do it.
Well, there was all this stuff. Her coach had come out and even said that if they rematch, May's gonna break her arm and all this stuff. And I'm saying let's put it to the test. If you think that if her coach thinks that she can break Amy's arm, let's go for it. I'm sure Amy doesn't have a problem trying to break her jaw. You know.
All right, guys. I
Get
think
defensive on
things
my
are
fighters.
getting pretty
She's
heated
one
up
of my
here.
fighters. I wanted to win.
Okay, things are getting pretty heated up here, and I think there will be a follow up on Facebook very soon. But anyways, let's get on with our next rumor of the day. Brett Robinson is going to fight in Ultimate Beatdown 14 at Joe in March. Is that true, Brett?
Yeah, apparently that is the route. I don't have an opponent or a date yet, but that's kind of the Ultimate Beatdown style. You get the word last minute. So I walk around at 85% in shape and ready to go. So I don't need that much time to get ready. But yeah, apparently, so it's a 8-man tournament, and I'm in the semifinals. So apparently the next bout is in March. So we'll see. I think I know who he'll be fighting, but
you want to say it out?
Yeah, he's I can't remember the guy's name, but he fought Nick Harris. Listen, let's face it, there's not that many middleweights walking around Southeast Asia. So he fought Nick Harris on August 31st in Ultimate Beatdown as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's an Egyptian guy, a kickboxer. I can't remember his name. I apologize, but my gut tells me that's who I'll be fighting.
All right, there are rumors as well that Ultimate Beatdown. Okay, for you guys who don't know what's Ultimate Beatdown is an fighting event. They have Sub-Zero no-gi, they have Muay Thai, they have amateur and pro fights as well. And for the last event in Ultimate Beatdown 13, they actually have 800 plus in attendance, so it was a very successful show. And I heard rumors that they are getting Shafiq to fight in Ultimate Beatdown 14 in March. Suman, you met Shafiq. What do you think about that?
I think he's a cool guy, man. He's a really humble person, and he's an awesome fighter. I personally believe that, he got caught in his fight. He was doing well, but I think he'll be back bigger and better than ever. He's a real cool guy, and he's real humble. After the fight, he understood what happened, and he's young. He's gonna come back, and I think he's gonna kill it. He'll stay on that world stage, and Shafiq's a stud. That whole Juggernaut gym, they got a lot of good guys there, and he's just gonna benefit, and he's gonna grow.
Yeah,
right,
I agree. Shafiq's he's a great dude, man. Talented, humble. I bumped into him at the UFC fights, and I always enjoyed talking to him, man. Like, he took it on the chin and kind of smiled about it. Said, "Oh yeah, I got caught, went right back to the gym." So yeah, look, he's young. He's a stud. He's young. Fighting happens, man. People hit really hard these days. So he got caught. Getting caught happens. It sucks, but he'll be back. He's a good kid.
He didn't fight walkover either.
What do you?
Yeah, exactly. That is a tough fight. When I saw that matchup the first time, I went, "Damn, that's a tough one," So fair play to him for taking that fight on. That was no joke.
All right. So before we end the rumor section, what I can get about Ultimate Beatdown 14 is that there will be a flyweight semifinals. Jen Lo Lim from Penang will fight Bull Killer Zakir from KL, and our own Garrick Sia from Impact MMA will fight Kumara Sian Perumal, who just defeated their undefeated flyweight Kenny Yap from Team Scrap. So if you guys free on March, come down to Johor. The venue is not confirmed yet. The date is not confirmed yet, but I can promise you, I had a fun time. I went down to Ultimate Beatdown 12 and I had a great time. So you guys watch out. So anyways,
Ultimate Beatdown is awesome, man. Like, listen, I enjoy small shows probably a little bit more than I enjoy big shows. And Ultimate Beatdown is good. It's good people who run it. I mean, they started doing shows in a gym, and now they're in an expo and they're growing. They got sponsors, so it's very cool. I'm very happy for those guys. I like fighting for them as well.
All right, maybe Ultimate Beatdown could get Australian guys to come in down as well, right?
Fight, literally, I'll fight anyone. You get me?
Okay, so upcoming major events. Maybe Suman, you want to talk about what's happening in Australia?
Oh yeah, we got actually a lot of events going on in Australia. A lot of big fights happening. The 24th of January, we have actually one of our studs who we nearly got onto the Rebel FC card. He was meant to fight the Korean top team guy, Hwan Kim, at 93 kilos, Sam K9K. He was meant to fight. We didn't come to an agreement on pay and weight, but I think that we'll see him on the world stage soon. He's fighting on the 24th of January at UCW2. I've got a poster right here. Show UCW2, Sam K versus Jeff King, 24th of January, you know, at Punchbowl Croatian Club. You know, we got that fight coming up. We got Rochambeau. It's another big organization. They've had Ben Yun from Tiger Muay Thai fight there. They've had Cody Stevens. They've had some real cool guys fight on their last show. We've got Randall Ray fighting on the next for the light heavyweight title. We've got my brother Suman Mokhtarian. He's fighting as well against a much more experienced professional athlete. But I think it'll be a good fight and it's going to be a great show. The 8th of February, we have a group of our amateurs and a few pros going down. We've got James Jumanji in the gym. He's going down to Queensland to fight on UCU, Unarmed Combat Unleashed. And then we've got shows after show coming up. But one of the major shows and big organizations, we got in March, we've got Sam K. Again, he's fighting against Api Hamara, who's actually known for his submission victory over James Tahuna. He's a veteran. They're fighting for the light heavyweight title in Nitro. Nitro is a big show in Australia. It's one of the premier shows. He's fighting for the title there. He's going to go and take it to his opponent. He's going to reclaim his belt that he lost, and I don't think anything's going to stop him. On top of that, he's fighting at Brace in May. Brace is now connected with ONE FC. So they've got a tournament style going on, 8-man eliminator. It's going to go over the year. So he just got matched up against his opponent Mike Turner at Brace in Canberra in May. So if he wins that at the end, I'm pretty sure they've said that the winner of the tournament gets a light heavyweight belt for 2014, and they get offered a ONE FC contract.
Wow.
So yeah, like they just gave a ONE FC contract to their featherweight champion, and a 6-fight contract, you know, which is great. But Sam K is looking to fight on the world stage. We've got Randall Ray, who's 5-0 with 5 first-round finishes. We've got my brother, who's an undefeated at MMA, Suman Mokhtarian. And we're looking for the big fights. We're looking to get them there. Australian top team has a lot of talent. We're connected with Giant Jiu-Jitsu and Phuket top team as well. So we've got a lot of young, talented guys. And we obviously have Amy as well. So we're looking to step up onto the international stage, and I think we're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Wow, Australian loves fights. There's so many events coming up. Brett, you have any news?
Yeah.
Brett, you have any news about events around this region?
I mean, we got we got big ONE FC card coming up in KL in March, and then can't announce yet, but I've seen the schedule for ONE FC for the next couple of months, and it's pretty good, man. You take that, and you got UFC coming back to Macau. I was at the Macau show in November a couple of years ago, and it was awesome when Kung Lee knocked out Rich Franklin. That was a really good show, man. I enjoyed the hell out of that show. So, for me and my guys here, I have a lot of young guys who were just 2014 is the year we're gonna make a name for ourselves and take these guys out of the gym, put them on some shows. So expect to see some young guys from Fight G signed with ONE FC in the next couple of months. We've been working with ONE FC, putting guys in a development league that they have. So we're assigning them to contracts with ONE FC, getting them a record built through the ONE FC network on some smaller promotions. And then when the matchup's right and we think that those guys are fit, they're good to go, and they've got a contract waiting on them, which is really good for these young guys who don't have much to work for their fight career. They just train their ass off every day, and basically makes them a contracted fighter, and they just need to to get some experience first. So I'm really happy about that. Gives him something to work for. So yeah, I mean, ONE FC is going to keep us busy. We're pretty attached with ONE FC, and we do a lot with Ultimate Beatdown as well. So I think we're gonna have a lot of fighters on every card basically for the next 6 or 8 months between those two shows.
Yeah, man, more fighters from Fight G, man. I can't wait to see you guys too.
Yeah, man.
All right. Upcoming major events: UFC on Fox 10, 25th January. Benson Smooth Henderson versus Josh Thompson. Who you guys got, Suman?
I'm gonna stick with Benson Henderson. I think he knows how to win, and he's gonna rebound from his last loss.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think he's gonna take it to Josh Thompson. Josh Thompson's an amazing fighter, and watching him knock out Nate Diaz was pretty heartbreaking for me as a big Nate Diaz fan. I think he's the real deal. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with, but I think that Benson's going to fight a smart fight. I think he's going to grind him out for a unanimous decision victory.
Brett, Henderson Thompson, and Gonzaga Mayo kick while you're at it.
There are very few fighters on earth that I say this about. I enjoy fighting, and I don't get behind personalities much, but every time Ben Henderson loses, a little piece of me on the inside gets a bit happier. I cannot stand that guy. So I'll be cheering for Josh Thompson, who has a legit chance to put Ben Henderson away. If you guys watch that split decision fight with Gilbert Melendez, and then you see him put Nate Diaz away, you know, you see him put KJ Nunes away with a convincing fight. I mean, he's the real deal, and I think he's got all the skills to beat Ben Henderson. It's just, damn, Henderson's good, you know. But the fanboy inside of me was going for Thompson. I want to see Ben lose 2 in a row.
Okay, how about Gonzaga Mayo kick? You have any interest in that fight?
Gonzaga's, you know, talk about a comeback, right? I mean, the guy's making a name for himself. He's you know, he's old school, you know, like nothing fancy. Except he's that size and can kick the crap out of you with those big roundhouse. So I don't know, man. That's an interesting fight. I'm not really a huge heavyweight fan. You know, I like to see big, gross knockouts and all, like all of us do. But let's be honest with you. You know, most heavyweight fights that aren't Mark Hunt, Bigfoot Silva end in disappointment.
Yep.
So you know, I don't know. I think Gonzaga's probably going to take that. He's just been there doing it longer. But who the hell knows? The heavyweights. Man, nasty.
Okay, how about you, Suman? Gonzaga Mayo kick.
I'm gonna have to agree with Brad on everything he said. I can't ever count out Gonzaga. You know, I think he's cool, man. Like, I like watching him fight. I like how he's come back, and the guy that can knock out Koh Kok Kwang with me.
Yeah, man.
All right, for the next one, UFC 169 on the 1st of February. Dominic Cruz is coming back versus Hernan Barao. So it's champion versus champion. Who you got, Brett?
Man, Dominic Cruz, talk about a guy who's had a rough patch, man. I mean, knee surgery, body rejects, has to go in and do it again. He's been out a long time, and Hernan Barao is a monster, you know. So I just think that the belt, you know, we all know it truly belongs to Dominic Cruz. And he is a super cerebral fighter. He will find a way to win that fight. I think he probably takes it by decision, but you know, that's one of those fights that could be super explosive, or it could be 5 rounds of you know, of pretty technical striking. I don't know, but I think Cruz takes it.
Suman.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna agree with Brad as well. I'm a big Hernan Barao fan. He trains with Jose Aldo and a lot of good other guys. But, you know, Dominic Cruz is one of those guys that you watch him fight, and some people are like, oh, he wins all his fights by decision and all this stuff. But he's just, I love his style. I love the way he moves, and I love his head movement, his footwork, everything. I like him, you know, he's exciting. But I think he takes it as well by decision. You know, I don't think many people would be picking against Hernan Barao. But I think that it'll be a fairy tale ending, and he'll prove that he's the real champ. And I think it's going to set up Faber Cruz 3.
Amen. So do I.
And that's what I want to see. I want to see Dominic Cruz versus Uriah Faber again.
Honestly, I could watch that fight once every 2 or 3 years for the rest of my life. Those fights are always damn good, man.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just a fan of Dominic Cruz. I just love the way he fights. Nobody fights like him. So Cruz versus
awesome.
Faber 3, awesome. Anyways, another exciting fight on the card. Jose Aldo versus Lamas. Suman, you want to make predictions on that?
Again, never going against Jose Aldo. You know, even when he's tired, you know, he still has so much explosive power in his kicks and his punches and everything. You know, I'm a big Jose Aldo fan. I've always been a fan of his. You know, I don't think Lamas is up to Jose Aldo. To be honest, you know, Lamas has been impressive. He's been real good, but I think that there's stiffer competition out there. I'd like to see Cub Swanson fight Jose again for the second fight. You know, he got beaten quite quickly in the first fight, but I think that's the fight that we're going to end up seeing. I think Jose's going to walk through Lamas, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I think I gotta agree with you, man. I think Jose Aldo wins that fight violently. You know, Jose Aldo, it's just how do you stop a guy who throws his limbs at you with such reckless abandon? You know what I mean? Like it's just terrifying to think about. So I've got him winning that fight. I don't think that goes 5 rounds either. I think he puts him away.
Okay, the last fight, loser goes home. Frank Mir versus Elista Overeem. Brad.
If Frank Mir doesn't get to the ground early, he's in for a long night. You know, Alistair Overeem was embarrassed, and you know, say what you want about that guy. He's a gamer. A little bit of pharmaceutical help, no doubt, but that guy's striking is some next level shit. And you know, Frank Mir is okay. You know, he's a UFC heavyweight fighter that's been in there a long time, but the thing is, Alistair Overeem has a very, very underrated ground game. You know, he's got good hips, he's athletic, he's got a good sprawl. I don't know. I don't know if he gets taken down. I don't know if Frank Mir can do it. And Frank Mir has been sloppy lately, like staying on his feet with people he shouldn't have been staying on his feet with. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I think that fight will probably. I think it's probably going to go to Overeem, even though I like Frank Mir. I've hung out with him, and he's got sick jiu-jitsu, some of the best jiu-jitsu in the heavyweight world. But I think Overeem just hits, knees, kicks, does everything too hard for him.
Right, how about you, Suman? Mir Overeem.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Brad. I think Overeem's too big, too strong for me. We saw that even Brock Lesnar couldn't take him down. You know, once he starts putting some of those kicks or knees into you, start hurting. I think he's gonna go there, knowing that loser leaves town, and we're gonna see the best of Alistair Overeem. To be honest, you know, I hope he's taking it seriously because I'm a fan of Alistair, but I don't like to see him cocky dancing into the ring and waving his arms around. I want to see him go in there and work and do business. You know. I want to see a fight. I don't want to see a show. Like, you know, I'm a big Frank Mir fan. Seeing Frank Mir though break Nogueira's arm was heartbreaking for me, and I thought this could be a good thing for him. But I think that since being at Greg Jackson's camp, that he's had some weird tactics on his fights, and I think that Alistair Overeem knocks him out in the first round.
Yeah, then again, you know, listen, Travis Brown came back. I just, yeah, you're right with the tactics, man, because I don't know what he was doing. Travis Brown threw that same kick a half a dozen times in the 6 rounds before that and was not doing anything else. And Alistair was so arrogantly standing there thinking he was going to shuck those kicks away against a super athlete like Travis Brown. Yeah. So if his ego gets in the way, Frank Mir will rip a limb off. But I think you're right. I think that no way Alistair comes in with anything except a stellar game plan and a high guard and some vicious uber knees. So I think we both agree on that.
In saying all this, I just want to state I'm a massive Travis Brown fan.
Yeah, me too. Travis Brown is the truth.
Guy. He's like Brad said before, I don't really like watching the heavyweight division as much unless Sagano or unless Mark Hunt or someone are fighting, you know, some of the top striking guys. But when Travis Brown fights, I love him. You know, I like the way he moves for a big guy. You know, he's got great footwork, great head movement. I love watching him fight, and I think that he'll end up fighting for the title. I don't really see him beating. I see him beating Wadum. I don't really see him beating Cain Velasquez, but I think that if Cain Velasquez one day leaves the division, that he could become a future champ. He's got a lot. He's got some years in him, and I think he's just going to get better.
Yeah, when he beat Josh Barnett,
Oh.
I was blown away. Josh Barnett is one of the scariest men walking around the planet right now, and he went to town on him with no fear. So that's when I went, all right, you know what? This guy's a force of mess. But I'm with you. He doesn't. I don't think anybody beats Cain Velasquez. He's the king. But you know, he can walk around at number 2 confidently for a long time, I think.
All right, guys, we've been on for 1.5 hours. I think I'm gonna call it a night. So
good move.
Yeah. So that's it for us tonight. We'd like to thank the fans for tuning in. Thanks, Brad and Suman, for being on the show.
Thanks for having us, man.
All right, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of Monday Night Mayhem. Thank you very much.
All right, cheers, guys.